Hello there. Welcome to Parley, a series where you folks support me every month by paying me to discuss the topic of your choice, and this month, Mr.FOoT has chosen a rejected Parley lightning round. They're rejected Parley by Mr.FOoT. I don't often reject Parley. Mr.FOoT rejected these ideas and did not ask them themselves, and so we're doing a lightning round of Mr.FOoT's bad Parley ideas. Is that the pitch? Let's read the prompt. It's June 1st, which means we are back with Parley Baby. And this year, our captain will receive a birthday present, my birthday is June 1st, in the form of a Parley that he's commissioned himself. Zandy, you might say something along the lines of, I cannot remember asking a question, and what is this terrible sense of deja vu I am feeling? I will now quote what you said regarding last year's birthday Parley. True Mr.FOoT is my favorite person to ever commission Parley. We should totally do this every month, and he is very handsome. Well, actually, I lied. You didn't say any of that, except just now. But sometimes we don't get the present we wish for, and instead we get a present we don't need, like, at all. And thus I present to you the second ever episode of FOoT's Rejected Parley Lightning Round. FOoT's Rejected Parley Lightning Round 2, More Madness from the Zoo. Sounds fun. I've spent the last year collecting a metric fuck ton of Parley requests, and most of them are pretty bad. Similarly to last year, we're going to take a look at some of them. For each of these, we'll see if you can come up with some sort of coherent answer, do a short review of the question, and quickly move on to the next one. You don't have to spend more than maybe 90 seconds on each one. Oh, I'll be spending more than that. Unlike last year, this is a sequel, and sequels have to be bigger and better than the original. Oh no. Which is why we'll cover 5 rejected Parley ideas instead of 3. Try to have fun. Okay. Try to have fun. These are our 5 rejected Parley. Oh, well, we're gonna go one by one. Are you ready? So chat, I've read them prior. We're not going to spend 90 seconds on each one. But I'm free to move on quickly if I want to. That's very nice of you. So, question number 1. Let's begin. What is momentum? It's sort of mass times velocity. You may want to do some research. I didn't. You sent a YouTube link for help. And I did watch that video, and it was very funny. It was a joke video about how momentum is actually very complicated and your physics professor is lying to you. What is momentum? Well, there's really no point in me trying to explain from a physics perspective, because I don't at all know in any way, even after watching that video where I learned that I don't know even more than I thought I didn't know, that I don't know what momentum is. But I'm going to explain it the way that I intuitively understand the universe, including the parts that I don't understand. What is time? When you have liquid in a glass and you put like some Angostura bitters, hashtag not sponsored, as you're wont to do, into your sparkling water, in your glass of water, why, if the Angostura bitters is gonna move along a concentration gradient and fill all of the space inside of the glass, or it's gonna distribute among the, you know what I mean, why doesn't it happen immediately? Like, there's a thing in physics. I know, like, we as a society know this, but I don't know this. What is the thing that's occurring that is causing that to not immediately occur? And of course, it's, some physics explanation. Probably involving, like, the charge of the particles or something? I mean, I don't know. But, like, it's time. It's time. And I've always been haunted by time. I'm a person who is possessed of a strange sense of time. I have very time-distorted dreams. I dream a lot most nights, and they don't feel like they obey the normal flow of time. I have always felt haunted by the idea that if only I could harness it, I have the ability to perceive time differently, and we could escape this disgusting mortal coil and become as gods. So what is momentum? Well, we don't know because we are not as gods. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is this sort of feeling like when you turn in a car, that sense of inertia, I think it's inertia, that makes you feel like you're going faster. It feels to me like momentum, when you speed up, is really just you like doing a rail grind against the laws of physics. And there's that whole idea that like the entire universe and the fabric of space-time is like a sheet, and it can bend. This is a thing in physics, right? This is physics people. This exists, or like quantum mechanics are sort of like a trampoline is what I often imagine, which is probably very wrong, and that it kind of like flexes, and that's how space warps and such. And so momentum, from an abstract perspective, is just our weird way of understanding relativity. This is how I think of it, not knowing literally anything about physics. Don't repeat any of this in a physics class, because I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? Even more than I normally don't know what I'm talking about, okay? So we're just having a bit of fun here. But that's how I think of it, is like, things aren't really you could just say that other things are moving relative to other things. Things are not really moving as per se, as much as like the fabric of the universe is going woogity woogity, and then things end up in different places. I don't know. That's the best I can do. Like, I'm the kind of person where like wormholes sort of make a certain amount of sense to me. It's like, if we can be standing on the Earth, and outside of my office, there's sort of a curved hill, and it reminds me of the curve of the Earth, because the Earth is round. And when I look at that, I think about how we're hurtling through the universe, spinning around at like a bajillion meters per liter or something. And I think about like, well, if that doesn't feel like moving, then the weirder things could be happening, and it wouldn't be strange. And I think that once you normalize that weirdness, it's like, it's not odd to say that we're living in a simulation, or imprinted on the surface of a black hole, or like whatever. That sounds weird, I guess, maybe sort of, not to me. But when you look outside and it's like not moving, and you realize that we have the angular momentum of God's Beyblade, then perhaps it is more sensible, right? So I don't know. There's a perspective, a wrong perspective on momentum, that it sort of doesn't exist. I feel like what is movement? What is science? Let's move on to the next question. A strong start, to be sure. Question number 2. If you could replace all the grass, the plant, in the world with any realistic, absurd, or abstract thing, what would you replace it with? Why did you clarify that grass is the plant and not something else? You mean like weed? Anyway, we can replace all the grass, also a lot of which is outside that window. All right, in the world with any realistic, absurd, or abstract thing. So essentially anything. You're just clarifying that it can be those other things. What would you replace it with? This is the kind of ultra open-ended question that I've learned over my time making Parley. It's best to begin answering by picking something somewhat at random and looking at the consequences. Cheese. Is that good? No, it would smell very bad. It would be like, I guess, sort of dirty. Nah, if it was all cheese, maybe not. But we're only replacing the grass, so whatever it is, it's on dirt. It's going to be on dirt. There's going to be a great propensity of it. Okay, so here's a few things that initially come to mind. If it's something that absorbs CO2 or like other greenhouse gases, you would make such an absurd amount of it. You see where I'm going with this. So that's a thing. Then maybe we wouldn't all die. Other things that could stop problems in the world so that the world goes on long enough for me to continue to exist. You could do something like all of the grass in the world is replaced with the instructions to end aging, which is good because then we would, I guess, have that. I'm kind of cheating and turning it into a genie. Is that cheating? You don't get to answer. But then the problem is like, but all the grass in the world is now like waste paper? Maybe we can fiddle with it. Is there a way to make the way to end aging be also a plant that absorbs greenhouse gases? All of the grass in the world is replaced with like trees, the bark of which has the pattern of a research paper that explains how to end aging. Is that too much of a stretch? Is there any problem with it all becoming trees? There would just be an incredibly dense amount of trees there. I suppose you'd have to hire some lumberjacks. There are some public spaces that would probably not be very happy about this. The White House in the United States would immediately be impossible to see from the outside because it would be covered in an incredibly dense forest. Can I make it a less dense forest? Well, those were some realistic ones. You might be asking, why aim so low? You just want to cure aging? Here's the thing. I feel like if we progress far enough as a species, our human existence is eventually going to start being incomprehensible. Like a lot of the things that we enjoy about life are from the perspective of our constrained human experience. Personally, I cannot help but want that. Those are the things I want. From my frame of reference, that's what I want. I wouldn't find it pleasant to be so changed. As to be better, I'll probably eventually want to be that way. I would instantly end up. But if that happens immediately, then during the transition, I won't be happy. You know, I'll feel like my desires were made irrelevant by my state of being. Does that make sense? I want to transition to that state of being. I just want to make sure I don't fail to transition to that state of being. I don't want it to happen instantly. And I also don't want it to not happen at all. I want it to happen steadily. That's what I'm interested in. Maybe that's a very petty desire, but indeed nothing is of value. So why can't I have it happen in a way that is comfortable for me? What all is the point of doing it any other way? I don't know. Also, if people other than me transition that way into some sort of techno god, then they'll just like mentally collapse and society will be destroyed and they'll like instantly hit the nuclear launch button. I don't know. It seems vaguely dangerous, don't you think? So whatever. We could ascend and become as gods, or I could wish for like superpowers or something. There are superpower pills all over the world, but that's disastrous, right? An interesting thing about the grass is whatever I wish, if I wish for something only I want, everyone gets it and I can't stop them. So that's a thing. Like that's interesting. Money, but if you know anything about how economics work, that doesn't actually solve anything. Food, that's a decent solution, but I feel like you could probably find a way to absorb greenhouse gases that is also edible. Maybe I feel like it's trees. Like I feel like you do trees that are fruit trees that are cactuses. Okay, how much greenhouse gas do cactuses absorb? Can you write the research paper for the aging thing on a cactus, and then the cactuses could have like, you know, their fruiting bodies, so like kind of food, but then also cactus water, so something to drink. And now see, the thing is, like, this is magic, so that wouldn't be good in the long term necessarily. Like they would decay and there'd be various environmental problems, but it would pretty immediately improve the world in some noticeable way. That's something. Maybe it would be worth the consequences. I feel like, will it really destroy the entire biosphere if we just make cactuses everywhere instead of grass? Like, it probably wouldn't be good, but does them decaying release too much greenhouse gas? I don't know enough about that topic. You said I could do an abstract thing, or I did an absurd thing already. What would an abstract thing be? You could replace all the grass in the world with an anti-gravity field so people can fly around, so we don't need cars. But then only where there already is grass. New grass won't be an anti-gravity field. I'm gonna move on. Question number 3. Which body part do you wish you could detach and why? You have to pick one and only one body part. Why are you specifying these things? Which body part do you think you could wish you could detach and why? What is this question? My head, I guess. I don't know. Are there any other weird ones? Obviously, your people are giggling because you could pick your phallus, but in practice, I don't think that would actually be that helpful. The male genitalia is vaguely in the way, so that wouldn't be the worst ability to have. But yeah, like your head would be advantageous. When you say you wish you could detach it, I guess I immediately pictured like it can fly, which doesn't really make any sense. Just take it off to not have it for a time. My genitalia, yeah. There are plenty of times where that's in the way, and if you could just kind of like put it back on in the morning or something. How does this work? It's perfectly fine. It's healthy. It's just connected through interdimensional space, so it's all right. What do I do with this one? This is why these are fun, of course. Yeah, I wish I had an answer. But, well, all right, hold on. Body part. What counts as a body part? Could I take out organs? Do I want to take out organs? Could like wash them off or something, I guess. Well, I mean, maybe I can't get them out of me. You said detach. That feels a bit disingenuous. I'm not sure you can take out things inside you. Well, but there's a gray area. What about like my uvula, for example? Like that's Can you see that? That's vaguely, I don't know, detachable, right? I don't know. Um, all right, anyway, let's move on. If you had a dream where none of your dreams came true, and you woke up to find that none of your real life dreams ever came true, would that be a dream come true? It's one of these. Okay, hold on. If you had a dream, we're dreaming. In the dream, none of your dreams came true. And then you wake up and find that none of your real life dreams ever came true. It's been a lot of my life and my dreams didn't come true. But I'm not dead yet. They could still come true. Have some hope. Would that be a dream come true? Yeah, so this is one of those rhetoric traps where it's like the English words dream come true. Technically, you had a dream where this happened, and it is now real life, so that's a dream come true. But dream come true is a phrase that means like it's really good, basically. And so it wouldn't be good, and so it isn't. This is the type of lightning round parlay that you allowed me to say 90 seconds on each one for, because you're letting me get out of it. But I did that with the last one with detaching my penis, so maybe it's okay to talk about this one a bit longer. Here's the thing. Yeah, first of all, have some hope. You said you woke up to find that none of your real life dreams ever came true. Well, I'm not dead yet. There's still time. Who are you to say? Get out of here. There's still hope. I don't know. Something that a thought experiment I did a lot in college in a philosophy course was, are our brains simulating reality, but we have long since died, or like we're in the process of dying, but our minds are like massively time dilating our experience to simulate that we're still living as if nothing happened. I did the experiment where like, okay, so I'm in my apartment in college and I close my eyes and kiss my girlfriend at the time. At that exact moment, a sniper shoots me through the head, and my brain detects the incoming bullet. This is not a thing you can do, I don't think. But let's just imagine somehow. We don't know how the brain works perfectly. Maybe, I don't know. And your brain hyper simulates the rest of your entire life using enormous levels of time dilation. And you think everything continues as normal. You open your eyes thinking this is all fine, when in fact everything has become a simulation in that one moment and your brain has taken over. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like human pattern matching does this weird thing where as we interpret the world, we have a tendency to translate it into being like just so, like that's like the thing that would have happened, sort of a weird causal version of fate. There's a way in which like, even if you don't like believe in fate, it feels like, because of causality, things kind of had to happen the way they happened. And so sometimes looking at the world, I don't know if you felt this way before, but it can feel like there wasn't any other way it could have been. It just sort of, this is the only way, which gives me a vaguely alarming sense that I'm just making things this way for myself. Like things are just like silly and catering or uniquely tailored against me in different measure. I also think this is a good argument for being living in a simulation. You could call this protagonist syndrome, but personally, I think this is an extension of human pattern recognition. And the protagonist syndrome thing is just when people are so narcissistic, they don't understand that like the world is probably made up of other people who are thinking their own thoughts, and you shouldn't be so self-centered. I personally am painfully inflicted with the knowledge of other people's feelings, or at least what I think they're feeling. And I think everybody should be thus afflicted. The world would be a better place. But anyway, did that really address that question at all? Final one. Wow, this was up the entire time. Classic. In the past, you've accused me of attempted viral parlay. Yes. You have to pay for this. By creating a parlay question that would be viral among the parlay audience. Whoa. Save the best one for last. This isn't a bad parlay question. It's funny because you always say rejected parlay. Like, these are not particularly bad parlay questions. This was fun. I need to create a parlay question that would be viral among the parlay audience. For myself, or like someone else is going to ask it to me. If you didn't do this, what would you do for a living? ... But like, I want a really serious answer. That's the parlay, I guess. And yeah, that would be complicated. Basically what you're asking me to do is I engineered the thing I'm doing for a living, trying to do for a living, increasingly with your support, doing for a living, from the ground up to be an ultra specific machine that turns my life into something that benefits me, entertains all of you, and is profitable. Using what I believe to be the best compromise possible given who I am and the state of the world around me. If you find yourself me and you're in this time in the world, I believe that this is the single correct answer. There isn't any better answer with the available conditions. So what that would basically be asking would be, what is the second best answer? You'd probably add an addendum that's like, you need to pick something meaningfully different. You can't just like, because you easily could, redesign my current career to like not be about the same thing, but like kind of use the same model. In other words, you have to like not do the YouTube, Twitch, Patreon thing, basically. You need to use a different, let's say, business model. Make a second one that is like a similarly optimal use of yourself. Does that make sense? That's the viral parlay. You didn't say I had to answer it, so maybe I'll just leave that there. I don't think I have. I think I can just give you a look because I don't have to answer that. Yeah, okay, see ya. Thanks for the interesting question. This actually was a nice birthday gift. It was fun. Looking forward to the parlay that will inevitably follow this one.